What is going on, guys? Back with another video. So today I'll be heading to Harbor Freight to grab some more tools. I've been trying to get more tools and quality tools slowly but surely. Not quite at that snap-on level yet, as my buddies Min and Miguel always say, like, just get snap-on, just send it. But it's really expensive, so I'm just trying to go for something more quality. In the past I've just been using, I guess you can say cheaper brands like Husky and Black & Decker and just Walmart, simple Home Depot brands. To me, I'm a car enthusiast. I'm not a mechanic by trade, so as long as those tools work, I'm fine. But sometimes I do need better tools. So one of the first few good tools I only picked up was this jack, 3-ton jack. It's a low pro, and since both my cars are really low, the low pro jack works perfect. I don't even have to put it on blocks. And then I do need some jack stands. These are my boy Marco's jack stands. He lent to me, so in a moment you guys will see, but I'll be getting 2 more jack stands from Harbor Freight. They have a sale going on right now, and then also be getting some other tools. I recently, I used to be using this to I have a breaker bar as well as this tool, but recently broke off when I was trying to get the lug nut off my buddy's Mercedes. So I went ahead and dropped a bit of money and bought an impact gun, but I'm gonna do it the proper way. I'll be putting on some new Muteki lug nuts. I bought a torque wrench, a Tecton torque wrench, as well as a Milwaukee 3/8 impact gun, and then I'll just be going to Harbor Freight to grab a couple more tools. So jack stands, as well as some 3/8 and 1/2 inch, I guess, sockets. So that's all we'll be doing. Oh, I miss driving this thing. So I'll be taking my Mitsubishi out for a little weekend drive to grab some tools. 4 doors, more space. If you guys didn't know, this car was in the shop for a total of 5 weeks at Guicho's body shop while getting the white body stuff done. So with bodywork, there's a lot of custom stuff. Sometimes it doesn't fit right. They had to do some painting, let the paint dry, bodywork, cutting, all that shenanigans. I sent it in for 3 weeks at first, and then there was a Texas Heatwave car show, and then I brought it back. They fixed a couple more paint imperfections, which took another 2 weeks. So it took quite a little while, but on average, if you guys had your car painted before or bodywork done, usually takes about an average of 2 weeks. It took so long just because I had to send it back for 2 times, and they're really busy, so they always have dope cars at the shop. But yeah, let me go ahead and start the car up and head to Harbor Freight to get some tools. I spent a little longer than expected at Harbor Freight, but I was gonna get just one set of jack stands, which is just 2, but I ended up getting 4. Reason being, I had a coupon code which expires in a few days, and I got $6 off these jacks. So for 2 jack stands, I only paid $17.99, which is awesome price. Also get this 3/8 inch deep wall socket drive, as well as a 1/2 inch. So I'll show you guys the impact gun I got later, but I was asking some of my mechanic friends on suggestions for these sockets, because I have sockets at home. They're just not as good, and they said to get a deep wall is good, something good for an impact gun, as well as 6-point. So those are the requirements when I was shopping around. I paid a little more for the 1/2 inch sockets, but those should last a long time. Alright, so I just made it back to the house, and let me just show you guys close up of the tools I got again. So over here, it's a couple $100 worth of tools. I know it sounds very lame, but just put in these lug nuts. As you guys know, I change wheels pretty frequently, so all these tools are always needed when you change a spare tire or a spare wheel. So starting off, got my jack, my low pro 3-ton jack that I got a while back. Just picked up these two jack stands, so I have a total of 4 jack stands right now, so that way I can return my boy Marco his jack stands. And then over here we have our Tecton torque wrench, as well as our Milwaukee 3/8-inch impact gun, breaker bar, 3/8 drive sockets, and 12.5-inch drive sockets. So yeah, pretty much I will go through step by step of how to, well, you can say if you want to do a tire rotation, you want to change your wheels, change your tires, change your spare, put lug nuts, adding spacer. So any mod that requires your wheel off the car, this is the proper step to do them. I used to work for Discount Tire a few years back, so we always do, like, you know, the proper method of taking off your wheel to make sure you don't scratch the wheels, especially not my T37s. Those wheels are my dream wheels. Definitely don't want any scuffs on that. And I currently have 6-speed lug nuts on it, which is aluminum lugs, but I'm going to replace it with some Muteki JDM lug nuts, which are made of steel and they're really lightweight. Alright, so the first step, before I go ahead and jack up the car, I'm going to use my breaker bar as well as my wheel lock to go ahead and break all these lugs. So while it's on the ground, I'm going to just go ahead and break it lefty loosey, anti-clockwise. Basically what I'm doing is loosening them, just so whenever I have my car jacked up, all I have to do is use my impact gun, and it makes it way easier on my impact gun. I know some people, you know, just go ahead and use the impact gun straight away, but what you're really doing is you're putting a lot of stress on your impact gun and it's going to break down quicker. So I'm using a breaker bar first. So now that I already used the breaker bar to loosen all the lugs, I'm going to go ahead and jack up the car and then put these jack stands underneath. Sides jacked up on the jack stands, I'm going to go ahead and remove the first wheel. Let's take a closer look at these lug nuts. So the ones I had previously are 6-speed lug nuts. Let me go ahead and focus for you guys. The first lug nuts I had are the 6-speed lug nuts. So as you can see, these are aluminum. The good thing is it's really light, but the bottom part it's not really a cone. So being aluminum, over time, I had these lug nuts on the car for maybe about 2 years, and the color starts to fade. You can see the paint stripping a little bit. So I figured it's about time. I went with Muteki, JDM lug nuts, well-known established brand. I was gonna go with raised lug nuts since I already have, you know, raised wheels, but for what they are really overpriced. All I really wanted are some simple lug nuts that are steel and black in color. Something super simple that doesn't take away from the beauty of the wheels. Alright, so over here, these are the new Muteki SR48 lug nuts. They are steel, feels more sturdy. I'm comparing both. This one feels way lighter because it's aluminum for 6-speed, but these are steel. And if you look on the bottom, this is more like a cone shape. Definitely sits much more flush on my wheels. You guys notice what I did was I put it in by hand first, put in those lug nuts by hand, and then I used my impact gun to tighten it. Make sure it's just not too tight. The moment you hear it click, let it go. We have the torque wrench, and I'll show you guys in a moment, but this torque wrench is what it's for, to torque it to factory specs to make sure it's not too tight. So I'm going to replicate the same process on this side and show you guys how it's done slowly and explain it step by step for you those guys who's the first time taking off those wheels. Alright, so the lug nuts are already loosened earlier, so some of them you can take off by hand. So go ahead and remove whatever you can. And some of them might be on a little tighter. I already used the breaker bar earlier to loosen the lug nuts, so they should be much looser. Whole wheels off. Alright, so over here I have my lug nuts, the Muteki lug nuts that are going on. So I'm going to do the same process, really easy. Slap the wheels back on. Then use your hands to hand tighten the lug nuts. Always want to make sure you're hand tightening it first, because if you use the impact gun straight away, you might strip the studs. You definitely don't want that to happen. So once I hand tighten it quite a bit, so I usually turn it for at least like 5 to 8 times, and I can use my impact. Whenever you hear that little sound, you can just stop. And what I did was a star pattern, so always do diagonal to tighten it, so it's on pretty tight. Again, you don't have to do super tight, because that's what the torque wrench is for at the very last step. Right, so now that my new Muteki lug nuts are on, I'm going to go ahead and use the jack. Check the car, take off the jack stands, and get to torquing it down with the torque wrench. So now that the wheels are on the ground, so I'm going to use this torque wrench. It's actually brand new. I never actually used this before, so I did some research, and seems like for the Mitsubishi Lancers as well as the Mitsubishi Evos, the torque spec is 80 pounds for the wheels. So let me get to torquing it down. So since this is my first time using it, I'm going to go ahead and open the box. Pretty nice packaging. It's for a half-inch drive from 10 to 150 foot-pounds of torque. Nice little casing. And again, this is from Tecton. Alright, so got the torque wrench all set up at 80 feet-pounds of torque. I'm going to get to torquing it down right now. I'm going to end the video here, so you guys pretty much saw. I just went to Harbor Freight, pick up a bunch of tools, got my lug nuts changed to some nice Muteki lug nuts. It's very basic. It's still black in color, but Muteki are made of steel. Hopefully, you know, it sits more flush. It's really good. Paint won't strip. So I'm gonna end the video here. Leave a thumbs up if you haven't, subscribe, and catch you guys in the next video.